but I definitely want to look into this. And then Rosemary would offer her a place to stay, and she would move up into the attic, uh, which she uh, uh, finds to be quite homey, especially what with all the ghosts that are here. Uh, and then she would go to sleep, and you guys would be left with the what ghosts, huh? And Hanu being able to remember that, wait, I did talk to a ghost already here once
Yeah, from
before.
Quarry Coast.
Uh,
That was great.
and so,
I'm not going in the attic anymore.
and you guys are now gathered around the table in Rosemary's kitchen, uh, as there's tea and leftovers from the dinner that everybody has already eaten. And finally, now that there's like less traffic, because unfortunately, with the whole talking to her and getting her to stay there, and in between all of that, you got a lot of missives and visitors. Essentially, a slew of rings on the doorbell. Every time you would start to get settled, you would instead get people approaching you as different representatives of the city from different organizations asking you to donate money. Um, uh, One of them, the last one before you guys finally get to settle down at this table here, would have been a little bit more pointed, and most of you guys, those of you that hadn't gone to the courthouse, wouldn't understand what was going on, but you've got high enough insight, Sapphire, and they're kind of trying to be obvious about this, but they've made it very much seem like there wasn't a choice with that donation, and that donation was to repair one of the a damaged courthouse. And with that, you guys settle down around the table, uh, and if you want to start up with a countdown, you can get right to role playing.
Okay. Already started the recording, but it's three,
Oh, perfect.
2, 1. After a while, she's just gonna narrow her eyes as she sits back down. Be like, they were about as subtle as I am, so I'm guessing something interesting happened.
Uh, the courthouse they were asking to be repaired?
Uh, I'm gonna pretend yes. Yes.
Uh, we may or may not have blown it up a little bit.
What?
By a little bit, I mean a lot of bit.
I thought you were going to the Arcanum.
Yeah, they actually have courthouses as part of the Arcanum.
Oh.
The bugs got ridiculous there.
Oh, bugs? Oh, bookworm bugs or what bugs?
Zorman will start going into what was happening there, involving, I forget what the name of those fuckers were called.
The bugs?
Yeah, the bugs. What was their name?
K something.
Cowboy.
Cowboy.
Start describing the Calcoy, the weird aberration type bugs that Zill identified. And that they do the whole weird trying to latch on to people with strong alignments. And also that one of the important people in that courthouse apparently was a member of, was a cultist of Orcus.
Okay, she's just absorbing all of this, just stroking her chin every so often before drinking tea.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't seem to go down and there was more bugs coming, so Rue and Frederick teleported Zill and I up higher, and we may or may not have struck down in lots of lightning. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure at least half the courtroom has open air now.
You know, sometimes justice is heavy-handed, I guess.
All I know is I wasn't in great shape by that point.
Um, you had to do what you had to do, and those were extreme circumstances. But yeah, they definitely were not subtle. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, not subtle at all.
Well, ours was just a basic jaunt, nothing too interesting. We got some motorbikes, so that was new. Um, and yeah, you found. Did she introduce herself as Siri or just the black dog?
You did get her name as being Siri.
Okay, so yeah, just found our little attic dweller there, being grumpily accused and all that other stuff. But just nothing interesting happened. Just a statue of Saint Ava just crying blood. You know, the usual. Yeah, those creatures that were at Predwin's place, at least one of them was just bleeding it. Really strange because she seemed very adamant in arresting the black dog, but when the moment came, she just kind of like dropped her, like quite a while ways down. So I have no idea what the fuck is going on with the order of Raspberry Bats right now. And then yeah, just relaxing as you usually do, and then some I don't know, some gangsters came up, caused a big old ruckus. That's how we got the bikes, and I'm pretty sure Zale, you know that one guy, that was in Griffin's Perch.
You mean the fucking engineer?
Yeah, pretty sure they're the Magi yet. So yeah, just normal stuff you find out every day. Mm-hmm.
Zale, make a culture check or a religion check to see what you can recall about the Mashayat.
Intelligence.
Just giving you some
31.
like finger guns right there. Just yep. Nothing to see here.
So
Okay.
31.
Yeah, you would know that of particular note to you is that the Majayat um, are cited as one of the examples of soul sickness, and you've read them and also the notes from Stefano. Dr. Stefano's notes were actually uh, quite prolific on mentioning the various uh, types of soul sickness, believing that there were more than one ways that the soul could have various types of afflictions, and was trying to chronicle the different types of them. And the Majayat were a special note because there's only ever been recorded only two people who fall under that particular type of affliction at any time in history, and it's always one boy and one girl. And they are revered in Urat, seen as the religious and spiritual leaders of that country. The two of them pretty much influence the souls and faith of most of the country of Urat. Their seat of power was out of the city of Ashruk Mabna, the city that you guys saw get bombarded and occupied when you guys first arrived in Avale, which was shortly before you first met the engineer in Griffin's Perch. And the if this person truly is the Majayat, that means that they're a long ways away from the sunset throne and and home. And but yes, that would pretty much be everything you would need to know about them with a 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Zell's like, You see
Oh,
him.
and you would know that they are believed to be the reincarnations of each one before. But with a 30, you would know that each individual incarnation is their own person, who is in contact with their ancestors in a manner very similar to the way Hanu is actually. Um, but Hanu's not soul sick.
Yeah. So yeah, you see Zell kind of eyes kind of slightly wander, like widen at that bit as you tell him this. He is like,
Another note on this.
yeah.
Sorry, 30 tells you so
There's
much.
a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was gonna
Um,
mention, like child of the prophecy, the usual, right?
you would also know that contrary to popular belief, right, the Majayet is believed to be in tune with magic in ways that other people aren't. They just see how it influences and works in everything around them. All right, and it's believed that this grants them great magical power. You would know that the Majayet actually don't have magical power. All right, in fact, they are incapable of using magic. However, they seem to have the ability to influence other people's magic. So, yes, you would know that their understanding of magic is more like they understand it, not that they control it. All right. They see the weave with those golden eyes of theirs.
Those special eyes.
Gotcha. Okay.
My bro.
Yeah. So Zell definitely at this point he's definitely in deep of thought as he kind of looks at Hani at this point, kind of dead in the eye, and sounds like, huh,
So
a
first,
long way from home.
I know, right?
Very long way.
I apologize in advance. Like the
Are
trip
you?
through the city was a little bit wonky. I'm still kind of discombobulated about that. Like the whole city, that section was just moving, right? Kakil was just like kaleidoscope and just making a lot of broad gestures.
Yes.
What?
It was absolutely ridiculous.
Mhm.
Who has time for that sort of nonsense?
I don't know. It was like a weird trip. I will say that.
Well, I'm glad you guys are okay.
I mean, if it makes
How's
sense.
your guys'? How's your magic? Were you close to him?
I mean, I was a little bit far away. The car that he was riding was just really very unique and durable, so I didn't really cast any spells per se. Nina kind of like tore his car up apart and probably terrified him, from at least my understanding. So that's a thing too.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
they can
yeah.
influence magic, so just be careful next time. They don't necessarily can cast magic, but they can influence it.
Okay, that is something good to note.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of our magic was able to penetrate his car, though, so to what degree and what it exhibits as, I'm uncertain at this point, but future. Looking to the future, I guess. Takes a big sigh.
He. Adele kind of says, kind of out loud, like an out loud thought. It's like, but why would the Majiyet create the bomb at Griffin's Perch?
Oh no.
They appeared with Vox, now they're appearing with whatever was happening with those gangsters.
Yeah. We managed to, like, capture one of them, but I don't really know what they are.
They're being
up to.
held at
Yeah.
the guild house,
Yeah.
and one of the many rings on your doorbell today had been being informed that they had chosen and been handed over to the authorities. But during the time that you had them, had managed to reveal that that their gang had recently started working with Valente. Uh,
Yep.
and so, yes, you know that they're a very small outfit, one of very many gangs in the city.
Okay. Yeah, she's just like
But
staring.
first with Vox, now with Valente.
Yeah. What other secrets this one might hold, only the authorities will know, but that's, rabbit hole's getting deeper, it seems. So, how was your meeting? Takes a big sip of tea. I know you guys, like, you know, a little bit of scuffed up the courthouse, but everything else okay?
I think Sil has a good feeling of how the Black Lily managed all the robberies.
Okay.
Yeah. For teachings of high magic and various things that kind of put together, especially with this, he takes up the comic book. My theory, and Zaz is also checking in on it, is that they attained the item called the Cube of All, which allows you to basically, for a thief, it's the best thing you could ever get. And they can grab anything from any dimension, any planar place. Just literally go through the back door and be right there and avoid everything.
Huh.
All at the same time, as long as you assign it to grab whatever you want. You don't have to see the location either.
Huh.
It's also the reason why they left the Black Lilies. Needs something to stay in its place, and that's the exchange. So,
Act as like an anchor point there?
sort of. More of like transmutation. When I use my transmutation, I am pulling for something, but I am exchanging it for something else. In this case, they are allowed to, with this very powerful device, to be able to replace something with honestly anything mundane and have the other thing in their hand.
I don't understand too much about magic, but couldn't you just reverse magic the lily to be what it was before?
No, the lily is a lily.
Oh, okay.
Is there. Basically, they swap places. Which also means that the only way to track this thing is to investigate more of the places that have been stolen, taken, and triangulate using high magic and the different ways that affected the weave, because high magic has a prominent effect on the weave. Having to triangulate that would maybe lead us to where the Black Lily is. Or at least where to start looking.
Yeah.
But
Just like
to do that,
slowly stirring her tea at this point, like slower and slower as you're talking about that and deep in thought. Different
Yeah.
dimensions. Space and time are like part of that, right?
If we regard the shutter space and my research into the shutter space, yes. So that means with the Cube of All, she could steal things from other timelines.
I see.
In theory.
Okay. Just
So we
making...
could be at the start of the Black Lily right now.
Sorry, this is a little bit weird, but it's just the way that, you know, discussions I remember in the classes at Bedawang, they're talking about the order that the prophecy is in. This is kind of this weird section of, if this is the beginning, it's also maybe not the middle section. The Black Lily's reign of whatever they are doing. Really sticky, isn't it? Huh.
Yeah. It is definitely interesting. Definitely, it's, at least Zaz is at least researching and looking into at the moment of how they could contain that information of how to get the Cube of Law. Because that was their first move, was to steal that item. Didn't use it to steal everything else. And only a select few people knew about that item.
I mean, I guess it narrows it down. Certain
So-
people have certain clearance, but,
Seems like Headmaster Zaz is working on it, so he might reach back out to us whenever he has something.
But here's the thing. What if... Do we know when the last time that somebody checked up on that cellar? Because here's... Maybe Zaz hasn't met this person yet. Maybe some weird shutter space thing happened. And then they had a version of it. Okay, whatever. I'm going down places where I probably shouldn't go down. This is actually some nice cookies that you made, Zen. I thank you.
I mean,
She just focuses on eating slowly. Still deep in thought.
It's
is
probably like
also-
pulling out a whole nother fucking tray and then just setting it by Cack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also a stretch. One of the many theories I have in my head, but this one's mostly probably the more far-fetched thing. Since we are knowledgeable in time travel and different dimension and shutter space. What if the Black Lily is one of us?
I bet it was about that. Seems like
It could have
something
been
she would
one
do.
But I've been thinking about it, and there's definitely more people knowledgeable out there, like Putman and everything. But we've also gained a lot more knowledge of certain things as well, with different realities of ourselves. We have much potential, which is we have the most potential to do more harm as well. And if I had to think about it, in terms of just me, if I can save my world from pulling out different powerful magic items from different timelines, or magic items that exist, like a cure for a disease, or a item to reverse a disaster, it would make it very more possible that this Black Lily, maybe it doesn't originate from this world, not from the beginning. Maybe kind of like Arthur. At one point, they or them were dropped here with knowledge of certain events. So one thing I could think about how they know exactly what items they can get. Because you still need to know what item you're looking for, at least vaguely.
Well, here's the thing. We have one of their items right now, pointing to Keck and where he has his book stored. So... Okay, I'm getting us.
I think
I kinda
overall
looked it
this
up.
is all a strong speculation until we figure out where it's all gone at this point.
Yeah, I just need to...
Because we at least have a stronger idea for that than who's doing it right now.
I have a lot going on in my head right now. I didn't really sleep well this morning, so oh boy, now it's even worse. But I will
Doug kind of
theorize.
nervously chuckles a little bit. He's just like, again, it's a far-fetched theory. It's not something I'm thinking it actually happened.
Mm.
So do not mind me. Just
So, do you want the bad news or the bad news? And you see that Arthur is leaning inside the doorway. You didn't even hear the beaded curtain move, but there he is. And He has his arms crossed, but he's not looking at anybody. He's looking down, right at the tiles on the floor as he says it.
Darman would just look in his direction and just say, yes.
Remember when you first pulled me out of that grave? And I sat you down, and we had a talk. I told you that the versions of you that I knew, the ones who raised me, they sent me to your world, to your timeline, to look for something. Something they said they lost. That thing was the cube of all. Now, I'm not saying that this means that another version of you went out and took it and used it. That's still speculation. However, they told me that the cube of all was the most important thing to be able to stop what was coming. It was the key. We have to find it.
No, that
All
would
the
make
more reason to
sense.
triangulate it.
I would have definitely called myself the Blue Lily. Yes. She's just nodding, like, to herself.
You mean the black? You mean the black lily?
No, the Blue Lily. That's why it didn't work out so well, I guess.
So kind of like
We can
Now
write that one up then.
I
It's
see.
definitely not Hanu.
Yeah. Or maybe.
What?
You. And it looks right at Zale.
He kind of like looks up at the kind of this point on looking back at him. Doesn't say anything, just kind of a blank expression as he kind of looks and then kind of looks to the side as he just now is very deep in thought.
Listen. We can write off any one of you. Because we were all at the ball. And we know that with time travel, you going backwards and forwards in your own timeline, that's not really something that works. You'll always end up in someone else's place. An outsider. Somewhere you don't belong. This is where you belong. So, unless they also got flung forward by fluke chance, by being in the vicinity of one Victor Gray, it's very unlikely.
Yeah, you know, I was like, I didn't want to say it out loud, but I was like, what happens if Victor just accidentally picked it up and dropped it, and we're like, oh shit, we lost it. But that's just me. Nothing to totally, like, think too much about. But at this point, I'm just, anything's possible.
Probably the most likely scenario, let's be honest.
Yeah, I was like,
Has
what?
anybody seen it recently?
I heard,
No.
I think, you guys, you know, something about this mystical place called New Jersey, right? Or did I, like,
The last
hallucinate
thing we-
that? I don't know.
Last thing we have of any. Well, some in the city transporting this weird guy at one point and saying he left something and took him into his, I guess we could say, extraplanar travel dimension. I have no idea.
God damn it, was
The
that the
level.
cube of all? You scamps! You let him get away with it.
Either that or
But-
it's just Victor doing Victor things.
Well, there you got me.
But
There
Let me
is
know.
no sense to anything Victor does in any dimension. I wouldn't try and figure that person out.
I mean, yeah, there have been stranger things that ever occurred to us, right?
Hey.
I say looking at the screen.
Yeah, Stranger Things. Yeah, hey. Zal kind of says, And well, there was the movie that we saw in 1983. And something to do with... What was that fucking city name? I'm forgetting.
What?
The city in, the Frostborns. Oh.
The prison?
No, give me a second.
I think 1980. Oh.
No. It was Victor was seen again in the
Oh,
middle
you're
of the
talking about
street.
like the pet graveyard thing.
Yeah, in the
that
middle
one
of the
place
street,
in
basically.
yeah.
Because it was up north.
Yeah, that one place where we like kind of got diverted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Next to the fucking prison.
Well,
Or
Babette took
on the way to
notes
the
on. You
prison.
know
I
what?
am
Something
looking.
back to Babette, it seems, because she took the notes. She left with them. I see what you're up to.
Who knows?
She's points the finger up at the ceiling. Like, aha! I've got it.
Yeah.
It was. You guys were in the city of Dresden, in the region of Hexenhügel.
Okay.
Hexen, yep, that's what it was. I was
Yeah,
like, Hexen something.
the street or the actual, not street, but the place that the city is on is known as Witch Hill.
Yeah.
So the movie that was on it was a pun of that, which was Which Way to Witch Hill.
Yeah.
And it was you guys getting lost on your way there, and it had nothing to do with any of the things, but some of the lines in it referenced stuff, right? In general, it was like the movie Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
Like,
Love it. Yeah. As Zell kind of mentions, and from what we know, Shutter's so at least you can presume if things was accurate to the future, you'd be somewhere in Hexagon at later on dates. That region. So I know a reason why we might have to. I know a reason why we have to go to eventually. It's interesting.
Yeah, about that. I need to coordinate, try to get some information. I haven't really been able to scry on Scathic, and I definitely can't do it right now because guess what? I don't have my scrying orb. I mean, I could scry physically, but still a lot of energy I have to use.
I know.
Yeah.
Zell walks over and puts a hand on your shoulder.
Yeah, she's
I
just
know.
like scratching her forehead and rubbing her temples. Okay. Yeah, so that's on hold for right now.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. For now, she's safe. It's still a long while before any of the Vins transpire.
Yeah, if anything, it's better that I back off the heat for a bit. Don't know how high alert that person is right now, so.
And right now we have things to worry about immediately around us, like dragons.
Yes, dragons.
yeah.
Speaking of which,
Uh-huh.
what do we want to do with that?
Oh.
We really sat down and talked.
Well, I mean, you should probably ask, well, Gwen, right?
Yeah.
I figured that's what we were holding off on. But I'm willing to hear ideas before we go and talk to her about it.
Okay, so
Does she even know yet?
that is actually. I actually haven't seen her.
I have a-
for a bit.
Haven't seen her recently.
Yeah. Well, okay.
She's she is currently in the back garden doing her drills.
Yep.
I haven't seen her as we stare at her. Oh, yeah, that's true. It's really sneaky.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't talked to her.
Okay.
She's just been preoccupied.
Alright, hear me out. This is my idea. So if I have, like, approximately 8 owlbear cubs, and I raise them to be guards, I think they can play a very vital part in helping us with this dragon situation.
You spend money responsibly.
Okay, fine. 5. I just need 5 owlbear cubs. And I'm ready.
Zarman just has like his finger. He has his index finger and his like thumb just going down his snout right now.
Fine, 3. You bargained me down there. I'll have 3.
Yeah.
I don't think we can really be affording much anything extravagant like that. I mean, we're kind of in the red, aren't we?
Yeah, right now, without any sort of help.
Please.
As that happens, you hear a ding on the doorbell.
Okay, so what you're saying is that
This
I
is probably like the 10th. This is probably like the 10th time today somebody has rang this doorbell. It happens about almost every 30 minutes now. It
So-
seems.
So gets up like fucking like a robot in second nature at this point, walks over to it.
And right as you stand up from the chair, Zarman just hands you a cookie.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and as you're leaving, Hunter's like, okay, so you're saying I need to steal these owlbear cubs? Got you. Got you.
Sully pushes your head back down so you sit down. He walks over to the thing, eats the cookie, and he just kind of like opens it at this point, being like, "Listen, you have any? I don't know what you're here for, but
No, of course, no. They've just opened the door. Everything is fine. No reason to panic. Thank you very much. I was hoping that you were here, and you see as there's a bunch of bags, like travel luggage, placed out. Enough to put Valerie's travel luggage to a competition. And as she turns around, you see this pale elf fix you with her eyes and a smile and say, Naima Virkova from Bankhouse Krova. We sent a letter. I trust you got it? And she begins to walk through the threshold, leaving her bags and stuff on the porch behind her.
Zarman will just look through any mail addressed to them.
So
Yes,
then,
if we did
looking
get
through
it,
the
he'll
stack
just double check to see if
mail,
we did get it.
looking through, you do see a letter from Bankhouse Krova.
Zarman will open it.
Reading through it, she, as you're scanning through it, she stands in the foyer, and the Arthur is standing with the in the doorway with the beaded curtain parted so that you can kind of see through where she's standing, and she's looking up like through at the chandelier and the stairwell that goes all the way up to the top, just sort of taking in the place. And reading the letter, you can see that it actually has bank notaries for each of the members of your party signed to each of you individually. It's just a whole sheath of them, and they're all for 5,000 gold.
Not as far in the red as I thought we would be.
Scanning over it, you can see that it says that they were contacted by your agent, Prince, and came to terms on a contract where your guild will give them information on and help come to the arrest of the Black Lily. And this is their investment in your investigation. And it seems that they have sent someone to be to protect their investment and make sure that you follow through on your investigation. And this inspector, as they are called on it, isn't named, however. But as you look over it, she looks past Arthur towards the group and doesn't like look at Arthur even in the slightest. Like looks like right past him towards the rest of your group. You, Narman and Hanu and Zale sitting at the table and Kak eating cookies, and says, "Everything's in order, I trust."
Yeah, it appears so. So you are the. Zarman will just say whatever words. These
Inspector?
inspector.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's all very just to keep things above board, make sure that their investments are being protected, yada, yada, yada. You understand. Of course, they were going to send somebody else here, but we have similar friends. One, and she shines her teeth for a moment, Constantine Barrow, and of course, others.
Ah,
Yeah, she was looking at the house to see if it attacked her, and then she's like, okay, no, Nan approves of her, I guess. We good, we good. And mentally, she's going through that.
so this one's like, huh. Inspector. So,
We personally have more than one motivation to be going after the Black Lily, so you shouldn't be finding your investigation, find your job too terribly difficult.
No, of course not. Except for you work for Prince. And most people underneath his employ live a very dangerous lifestyle. I'm here to make sure that you don't die before you can follow through on your promises. You'll find that my skills and medicine will likely come in handy.
ah, I see. It sounds just kind of sad
Yeah.
knowingly.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we did just blow up a courthouse not too long ago today. So, at least we know where some of this money's going.
Yeah, insurance policy. Yeah. Well, that's like my brother said here. I think you will be a fine addition to our group. You keep us still alive so we can figure this out.
Perfect.
He
I'm gonna go get settled then.
Want a cookie?
I don't eat.
That's fair.
She shines her teeth and smiles and walks out of the room. And as she does so, you watch as she opens the door and a couple of like attendants actually like pick up all of her luggage and carry it all inside. So about like four people end up carrying her luggage up these stairs, and then she follows them up. And a little bit later, they all walk out, looking a little pale. But
Okay. I'm just
Huh.
gonna point up to where she thinks Siri may be and just tell her, we got a new. She'll send a message with her with her spirit whisper features and just be like, okay, so we have like a new person that just came in. She seems really fancy. Just so you know, don't attack her on sight. She's she's cleared. All right.
Just cleared.
you hear the sound of something heavy falling over, and Zale, with your insane passive perception, you could hear the sound of what sounds like blades striking against something, like ching ching. And then Arthur says, "I'll go check," and he leaves, leaving you guys to continue your discussion.
Like
Okay.
you see Phil's sighs. He's like with his elven ears hearing this shit. He's just like, you were a little bit late with the warning, Anu.
Okay. Sorry, I was like totally zoned out. Actually, I will admit. I say as I had stepped away to go deal with something. Alright.
It's fine. If I play silently, it should be fine. If worst comes to worst, I'll go up there and intervene. We should be fine.
Okay, you tell yourself to
But-
convince yourself like that. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, thanks for the vote of confidence.
You need to be
What?
stronger in your conviction, and then I'll believe you. You just sound so
Anyway, about the
hesitant.
whole dragon.
Arthur comes back downstairs and says, "Yeah, I'm just gonna let them roll their steam out." And he walks over to one of the cabinets, and then he pulls out a container of salt, and then he makes a line across the doorway underneath the. And then he sits down next to you guys and drinks his beer.
I'm not sure how well that'll do for vampires specifically, but anyway.
But what kind of decides at this point?
In regards to the dragon talk, especially with my initial hatchling years being with Deacon, I'm just more curious about how they are.
Well, that's honestly what I guess it comes down to. Gwen might think the same as in that thing, but well, we have a lot to explore right now. We need to go to a lot of, well, I guess you could say, crime scenes, and it's like a good triangulates, which will probably lead us to very much going around everywhere.
And
I would
knowing
say,
how crazy things happen with our group all the time if we come across an egg or two.
that's what I'm saying. We should look out for eggs. And Zarman, you were getting that Abbey. The Abbey was done, right?
Yeah, no, the Abbey was actually a property that's been around when Victor was managing things.
I was thinking we can use that to keep the eggs safe. It's secluded, it's surrounded by water, and no one really knows about it except for us.
And if I have my owlbear club guards there,
Need
no one will
more
figure
just
that out.
seclusion, don't you, to keep dragons tended to? I don't know. I think it's gonna take more than just real estate. That sounds like a real investment. I mean,
Yeah.
it would take attendants and people to feed them and guards to make sure that they don't get out and
She's nodding
People
at
to go
guards.
in.
It's like, yeah, see, owlbears, alright? I told you about this.
and it's not like dragons are just giant lizards. They're
Highly
related to the elements. So, well, that too. But I was just more talking about the fact that you can't just put them all in the same type of place and expect that they'll get along fine.
No.
Yeah. Which
I'm
is
not
why
saying it's impossible. It's just
Are you
We
Ah.
might need to
saying
set something up for them.
we need to make an orphanage for dragons?
and that is me translating to the fact that would be the equate of building an animal shelter.
Yeah.
And that reservation would end up actually being 10,000 gold
Gotcha.
for you guys to.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
Zale has probably still got all of the papers and the calculator stuff out and all of the bookie related stuff from you guys being in the red. And so it'd be pretty quick to punch in those numbers real quick and go, it would probably, with this thing and those things incorporated, it would come out to costing about 10 grand.
it costs us 10 grand for all this. For our dragon sanctuary, so to speak.
Okay, like it's. I
And
guess
honestly-
it's like more or less a foster home, right? She's just mumbling to
Exactly.
herself as this is going on.
And I think only one person will be right to, well, manage over that. And I think she's outside. She had to kind of look towards Gwen. If anybody who knows dragons more than anybody in this world, it'd be her. It's also the reason why I wanted to ask her before I pitched this idea.
And I think it also would be therapeutic. I know, sometimes you're able to heal the mind when you have outside help from
Exactly.
creatures.
Well, if anybody wants to be
animals.
part of that conversation, let me know. Or you can follow closely behind, and then Zarman will probably have another tray of cookies made at this point. And we'll be
I
heading
think
out to where she's going to train. And then, that could be whenever we do that Gwen interaction.
exactly. I have Arthur would say that rather than the whole group trying to approach her on this, he'll go and talk to her and tell her what's happened. She's probably been wondering what's been going on the past day. What with the whole
City
stuff
going
falling out of the
into
sky
chaos.
and
Yeah.
city falling into chaos, and her just being, you stay here, all right, keep your head low, all right, is probably work. That's why she's training nonstop right now. All right, it's late and she's still doing it. All right, it's because she hasn't been able to know what's going on. Arthur will offer to go break it to her so that when you
Which is
guys
why
go
Zarman was going there with cookies, because he was going to do it.
Yeah, we'll just Gwen will be a later conversation. Let's just keep this thing alphabetical. And my segue on that is that Arthur says he's gonna go and break it to her, give her the news. You guys have other things you still need to discuss, anyways. And it's been a long night, all right. So rather than trying to get into all of that all at once, all right, he'll prep her so that she knows what happened. And then when you guys want to ask her questions and get her opinion on things, he's not going there to get her opinion. He's just going to go tell her what happened
What's
and then
been
go
going on?
fix that.
Then he'll bail.
Also,
Yeah, exactly.
Anu's just like, I think she needs something more substantial than cookies. She has been trying a little bit, like stew.
And so as Arthur heads out, this would be a good opportunity as Hal conveniently comes in through the front door as a bunch of the attendants have just left. The door closes and then it opens again, and you think, really, still more foot traffic, and with a little whir of movement, the beaded curtains kind of shake, and then Cal's seated feet up on the chair where Arthur just was, but his feet are just right up on the table. He's eating one of the cookies, which he snagged on his way by, and he's just, so how much of this is your guys' fault? Tell me, be honest.
Courthouse, mostly?
Something happened at the courthouse?
Sale and I happen at the courthouse.
This is why I love you guys.
Zarman rolls his eyes as he sets the probably hot tray near his feet, so if he doesn't move it quickly enough, he might get burned by it.
Zell kind of
Shifts his feet quickly off of the
Right.
table, grabs the plate in the process, starts eating them as he's holding the plate and sort of beaming, listening to you guys. So, what's been happening?
You've probably heard about the things falling from the sky. Apparently, dragon eggs have dropped. From there, apparently Valente has some activity going on in one of the districts around here.
Valente is
A big crime boss that was released recently.
Oh, so you're getting into organized crime now, facing off against the mob.
Yeah, and apparently they had some things working with the Order of Asmodeus. Because soon
The
after
Order of
they tried
Asmodeus is
to...
tied in with organized crime. I don't think anybody here finds that surprising.
Yeah, they tried to kill the Black Dog. And then after they saved him, a general, doing a arm motion towards Hanu. After they saved her, that's when the gangsters started showing up in vehicles and firing at them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that chase that went through? Do you know the whole district over there is closed off? I tried to get in. It was pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's because the whole district was just moving around all willy-nilly. It was weird.
Yeah,
Like,
it did
holy
the
shit.
same thing when I went through there. Like, as soon as I snuck past the guards, that was the easy part. However, on the other side, it's like it knew I was there.
No
Suddenly,
fucking
everything
way.
just started shifting, leading me in the wrong
Yeah.
directions. I took to the rooftops and started
Oh,
off
yeah,
as
yeah.
fast as I could, but if I even struggled to get out of it.
Yo, bro, I was gonna ask if you were like, if you wanted to come along, so I'm just glad that you experienced that because it was something. Like, I usually get
No,
some, like, you know, I'm usually high when that shit happens, but this was like, I was totally sober. It was amazing.
the entire portion of that city, catch this.
Yeah.
It's now elevated higher, like a good 100 feet higher than the streets around it. So you can't even drive into it anymore.
Huh.
Hmm.
I don't know what to think about that, actually.
So, like, kind of ponders a little bit. Has Zell ever heard anything like this before?
No, an entire district of a city that is
Yeah.
secretly on pistons and gears, and nobody knew about it. I mean, it would have had to have been somehow in the sewers, maybe. You know, maybe the sewers had been like, retrofitted somehow to secretly have this mechanism, but how nobody has noticed and how it could have been constructed without other people knowing about it and how it could influence an entire district like that. And those homes have been there for a long time, right? I mean, did they make alterations to people's houses without anyone knowing, or did they do this before anybody even built homes there?
Yeah, she's just
Well,
like,
when technological marvels are happening and the engineer's nearby, we can't discount anything, because apparently engineer was the one heading that chase.
I mean, do you think the Alvalian alchemist might know something about it? Because it could be like a byproduct of a goblin rune or some shit, I don't know.
Could be. I mean, definitely we'll talk to her about that. That's interesting.
Oh yeah,
Definitely pay her
looks up to
visits.
Cal, and also probably like that one person, the engineer who we're talking about, it's like the Maja, you know, no biggie, you know. It's okay.
The Majayat. Still alive in this one. And they're the engineer working with the bad guys. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought exactly.
Are you sure it was the Majayat?
Most it might be. I don't know if there was any disguise there to like throw me off, but everything was kind of feature-wise. It's my theory.
I don't know, but there's a lot of differences. I'm catching on that pretty much very little is the same, actually. But where I come from, the Majayat was an 11-year-old. At least, the boy was. The woman, she would have been in her 40s.
What was the woman's name?
I don't remember.
Oh.
How old was the engineer when
I think it started with an A, though.
Gotcha.
What was that? Looks at
He kind of looks to Hanu. Hanu, what age would you say the engineer was?
Oh, wait a sec.
Oh.
Hmm.
Hanu said, wait a second. So I was like waiting. Oh, probably a phone call. You muted.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, it's actually.
So, how did this
how
engineer
old
get away?
Yeah. How old was he?
Oh, and I guess, yeah, how old was he?
Yeah, she'll give like a relative age, based off of Nina's account and like what she could at least remember from when we
You would
saw
put
them
together
underneath the Maelstrom
he
tournament.
seemed to be a human, other than the paleness and the weird eyes, no pointy ears, and he appeared to be in his 20s, late 20s, mid 20s. He seemed young,
Yeah,
young adult.
she recounts that. And it's like, also, and then he just sped off into his car, into Lake Avale, which I know there's weird stuff in there, which is why I'm like, is this more relic of Goblin Rules? I don't know.
Lake Arvale.
Yeah.
And that's where Griffin's Perch crashed down into it, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Your fight against Vox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know who this engineer's been working for, but they appeared with Vox. Now we've seen him appear with this weird cooperation between Order of Asmodeus and Valente. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, they're definitely not the Majayet that I knew from my timeline. Because they would have been, older by then, not younger. So, and secondly, it's kind of against them to leave Urat ever. I don't think it's ever happened. And even the one that I knew was, firmly planted on the Sunset Throne.
Maybe this is also a Shutter Space version of them. I don't know, but I'm just recounting what I had told.
Or if
They
it is
had-
this one's, Urat's not in a great spot either.
I mean, the Rot did get like taken over right when we kind of like visited in there,
Right,
so
they
who
got
knows
taken
what
over
happened.
and they're missing a Majayet.
Yeah, who knows at this point?
It wouldn't be great.
Where did they get the time machine?
So how did they get away?
Mm.
You said they dove into the ocean?
Oh yeah. No.
Oh, into Lake
yeah,
Avale.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Scar went.
What kind of car does that?
She will just yes.
Quick attack.
It was like a boat car of some kind, but one that goes into the water, not on top of it. It was fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fast.
Oh, very fast.
Yeah.
Should have brought me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, well, maybe, but boat car. That's the important thing here.
Oh yeah, we got bikes with motors on them too.
Yes, also them. They were a thing.
Yeah, I
indeed.
just gathered a few. If you want one, just like.
You got some motorcycles? Alright.
Ah.
I definitely call dibs on one.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, you probably just need a little bit of fixing and tuning, though. I may
because
have
I think
damaged
two.
a few of them.
Yeah, I think two of them weren't in the greatest shape. What happened to those two?
There was a
That's
lot
on the
that
bottom.
happened.
Reaches for something else to put in his mouth.
And I was like, there was a lot that happened, chaos of battle. Who knows what, really happened to them.
Okay, I'm guessing one of you guys happened to it.
No,
Whatever. It's not like I can be judgy about that one. We did blow up a courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that was necessary.
Yeah, those things hurt.
Ooh, be careful there. First, it's necessary to blow up a courthouse. Then, who knows what you're going to be saying is necessary. Gonna start to sound like my dad.
Nasha?
Sal just ponders in a moment. If I said something more primitive, damn it, this wasn't the plan. Doug has got nods on that as he has his things to don't worry. Yeah, but for the most part, other than that, if on our side, we Somehow, I think we figured out how to find the Black Lily.
Well, I'm here with you guys 100% all the way. I mean, this is a chance to be a part of history. Why wouldn't I? But keep in mind, things look really dark in the future, so don't hesitate to call on my help if you ever need it.
Alright.
I might be running around running a club now, which, by the way, come by. Free drinks whenever you guys want.
I was gonna ask
But
about that. How's business going?
it is going really well.
Nice.
Some of the people saying that, my approach to the club business is ahead of its time.
Whoa, no way. A pioneer in your field.
Zorman rolls his eyes as he eats a cookie.
Well, as long as I stick around.
And by the way, if Willem is looking for me, tell him you haven't found me. I haven't figured out how to tell him that I don't want him to perform at my club.
I can tell him.
Oh, see,
Immediately
that is
start
why I
writing
love you,
note
Zarman.
to Willem. You're not wanted to perform at the club.
Cactus instant that.
See, true heroic courage. That's what it looks like right there. Appreciate you guys.
So just shakes his head at this point. Yeah, so we're calling upon you if anything happens. Alright? Take care. Don't get in too much trouble.
Yeah.
He eats the last cookie on that entire plate, having consumed all of them, and then stands up and zooms all the way up towards that curtain. You see as it goes away, and then right back again to grab one of the cookies off of Cac's tray, and then he backs out of the room real quick.
He's still from Cac, oh fuck!
He uses his step to teleport out of the room that time.
I think Ken will try to wave him down a little bit before he fully leaves. I just got talk to you. Sure. Oh no, he's gone. Oh shit.
And everybody's been kind of bunking up in the attic in Rosemary's, and so that's where you can find most of your companions.
Gotcha. I'll let him finish eating before I talk to him. Alright, guys. Good work today.
Yeah, I think I need to turn in for the night now.
Yeah.
Well, you guys rest well. I'll be up for a bit.
When you guys will take a break at that, and when we come back on the hour, we'll start down the list of NPCs, going to talk to them with now that we got Arthur and Cal out of the way. If you want to actually approach them one-on-one, and if there's anything that you have extra you want to say, we can lead in with them as well. But that'll be based off of how you guys want to approach, whether you wanted to do it as a group or one-on-one, right? But we'll start with Arthur, and so anybody that wants to talk to Arthur, just decide amongst each other whether or not you guys want to do it as a group or one-on-one.
I know I have something to talk about to him, but I don't know if anybody else wants to join in.
I actually wish I don't. It's on the list, so it's gonna be a future thing. But I want to definitely talk to Elven the Alchemist about certain things that I just fucking brought up. being like, "Oh, you know a whole fucking district that just moved."
Just like, just a whole district? Oh my gosh, I could do a whole city. Like, whatever.
Yeah, basically.
Wow,
Yeah.
weak
And then
sauce.
probably also mention the whole, if there's an easier way to figure out traces of high magic and shit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because definitely, I am putting basically Pridwin on a Zoom call wherever the fuck he is, and then sitting there with the Valley Alchemist in the meeting room, just us three geniuses, butting our heads together, trying to figure out how to triangulate this.
Fridwin is impossible to contact right now.
Damn it!
But you guys can, with your brooches, your star brooches, you can actually contact the Alvalian Alchemist at any time. That's how you also swap out your NPCs and stuff. All of your companions have one of these star brooches, allowing them to, whenever you make a group call, it glows for all of them, and anybody that wants to join in just taps it, right? Those that, aren't, don't. If you're specifically targeting somebody, it becomes a red glow instead of a blue glow.
Yeah, so you'd make a red glow call to the Alvalian Alchemist, probably.
I just
Mhm.
imagine, like, because when I was trying to contact Western Port Valiant, she had, like, some kind of amulet that just made a message that just went directly to it. Perwin has the same thing, I just don't know, because he has the same inflection on his, like, his words. I'm like, he just says the same thing over and over again, wow. Curious. Whoa.
Whoa! But yeah,
Holy shit.
Definitely still needs some talking with the Valley Alchemist of setting shit up.
You're also pretty, quiet.
Yeah, my microphone's
Yeah.
away, that's why.
Yeah, we'll start with the Alvalian Alchemist then, and then we'll move to the rest of your companions.
Some there, and then nothing with Zell stuff. He wants to talk to. There's like something for Frederick I want to talk about, but I can't remember it. There's something particular.
I got a couple of people before you get to them. So.
Right. You'd have some time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just trying to think of what it was on the subject of. Oh, I think this was a while back, but I was thinking because I know Frederick has a lot of kind of knowledge about like devils and fiends. I was honestly wondering what he can tell me of the risk of the Necronomicon, the Demonomicon in fucking Cac's hands. That was what my question was gonna be.
Oh, that's a lovely conversation. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Asking Frederick
Where
about
did
the
you get
risk
this?
of getting to
Yeah.
the. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. The Index Infernum,
Yep.
the
Starts
Demonomicon.
eyes starts rolling to the back of his head, and you're like, oh no.
That's insane. Like I just remember the time I showed the gauntlet and he fucking lost his shit, and then this is gonna make him lose his shit. But no, I was like in my mind I was thinking like Frederick would be probably the best person to know, and Zell is concerned about that book. He's very concerned about that book. You trust Cac, but that book is very scary. Because you rolled really high on his arcane check with that book before I remember correctly. He's like, ooh.
Man, now I'm hyped for that combo so much. Like, I just had like every little bit of Frederick's like reactions and stuff to that just flashed through me as soon as you mentioned it, and I was like, oh, whoa, whoa, this combo, yes.
Fine. Zell's to the point, man. He gets to the major point of the Alchemist. Alright, we need to do the solve and triangulate some kind of device to figure this shit out.
My
Frederick,
girl, I need
I
to
need you
talk
talking
to
about that
you.
demon on Oh man. Because I
Yeah,
remember correctly,
Zorman's
isn't
still a
that
little uncomfortable with Frederick, mainly because the whole reaction he had to his last name.
Yep. Yep. Frederick has his twitch, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Where he like glitches for a moment during certain things being brought up. Yeah. I'm so excited for that. Frederick, my boy, what was done to you?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and that particular Zarman's last name, the thing that Zarman associates less with, because he only discovered that recently. He's all like, "Oh no."
Yeah, he's like, why is this making a very particularly strange trigger on this person who went to my
And why is
country?
it right? And it's also fucking. Why is it my name in particular? I don't like this.
I like this. Oh man. As long as it's a cute conversation. Yeah.
So Frederick's definitely one Zarman's gonna sit out of for now.
Oh.
No, you're good. Honestly, the Zell Frederick was probably Zell's gonna talk to him like private about that because he doesn't want fucking Jack to know when he's talking about about that book. And it might be potentially very dangerous to have of that book. And for some reason, such a powerful book was not taken by the Black Lily.
Oh, it
Has
was.
I
to
mean,
there.
another thing was it was on Cac's person when all this shit was happening.
That is true.
All the magic items that were on our person weren't taken.
That is true.
So that's what was
Mhm.
going for it.
Yep.
Because that might have a thing involving how the Cube of All might work too.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, you would have to target the person carrying the item.
And
could take them.
they weren't really targeting people, so
Nope.
yet anyway.
Oh, super interesting. Hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, Gwen and Tirana are definitely two I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I don't know.
I'll pop in the end towards the end of the Gwen conversation, but we can talk to Tirana together. Well, slightly together. She has something personal to say to her.
And of course, Zarman's been doing the whole biggest person in the room thing for training, so probably Grey Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good old Grey Wolf.
So what's my girl Val doing? Is she gonna like pop up eventually, or she's like still in the Baltines?
No, she's around.
Okay, she just pops in like, whoa, wait, where do you come in?
Probably it's always
No,
there
because
at,
keep in
like,
mind, like after like those first few conversations that you had with them, and you're going to sleep. This is like at any time you want it to be over the next couple
Yeah,
of
exactly.
weeks.
Right,
You could have
the next month and a half.
I don't know where Valerie's going. She might be up the Baltines for like a month. I don't fucking know.
Oh yeah. But in any case, to get a hold of Valerie, she's never in a place. You have to contact her through the brooch, and then she'll teleport to wherever you're
I
at.
just like the
usually.
idea, like, you contact her through the brush. Oh, I'll be right there. Fucking portal through the ceiling, and she just lands on, like, fucking skis.
I know, I'm like,
Yep. Yep.
Alright.
Because the thing is that he doesn't have to do the teleporting thing. The Alvalian Alchemist immediately, when somebody that's in the call says that they want to go to that place with another person in the call, they all go there. or they can be beamed back up to her. And so you guys, so anytime like you want to talk to any of your NPCs, right, you just ding them in on a call, and then they can tell you if they're nearby. Then they'll tell you somewhere to meet. If not, then they're like, yeah, like, take me right there, and they got me on the mess. We'll just pop them over there.
I'm so amused at the trade-off of like whenever we were at Madronet, instead of Eliza coming back with us, Valerie did, and we're like, wait, what? Huh? Hey guys, how you doing? I'm like, oh, okay.
I also included this as your new house guest, the inspector from Bankhouse Crow.
Yeah, Zarman probably end up talking to her just to get a more personal relationship going. As well as a Micah. Probably not great at all.
And then also Siri as well. You're two new people, right? Yep. The ones who have the least idea of what the fuck is actually going on in all of this. Except for Nay might have a little bit more, but even then, anybody who even feels like they have a little bit more isn't quite prepared for the
what
level
we've got so far.
Yeah, exactly.
She's been too busy buying whips instead of listening into what
Gods is not something that's gonna make her feel crazy. But when you start talking about gods, that could lose a lot of people, right? When they're just like that's way beyond my scope of understanding. She's fine in that concept, being a cleric and all, but not so when it comes to time travel, because almost nobody, even the most magical or faith-related people out there, can wrap their heads around the concept of time travel and there being other worlds like this one but different, right?
Yeah. That's why Zelda's
no one's prepared for that. Your guys' origin story alone, like, how are you here and what are you about? All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that might involve a lot of talking that probably would still go over the head.
Well, good thing we created something called a montage.
Like, I've been alive for. She's like, I've been alive for a very long time.
Okay, so how do you feel about time travel?
What?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I was talking about.
They'll just get out the his just journals and be like, alright, just sit down, just go take a bit. Just starts pulling out his long journal.
Fucking hilarious. Who's gonna end up being talking to Arthur? Just you?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Zarman probably wasn't. Zarman already had a little bit of hangout time at the ball with him.
Yeah. Alright. How did you want to approach him?
Oh, are we gonna do the Veiling Alchemist first?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Sorry. As you touched your brooches, and they glow red for a moment, and you hear a moment later. Yes, you have once more called upon the Arvalian Alchemist.
Yeah, I get you, AA. Just hear a call. It's late. I'm only calling you. You're best asleep.
How may I help you, my minions?
So, you heard the whole fiasco with the Black Lily, right?
Yes, and let me guess, you want to know about the Piston City.
No.
Related.
I'll ask you that question too, but my first priority is, do you know the item called the Cube of All?
You're on to me, aren't you? Well, I'll tell you right now, I am not the Black Lily. Just because I created the cube of all does not mean that I had anything to do with it after I made it. I make lots of things and then I discard them.
I thought if anybody was gonna make something like that, it would be the Elven Alchemist. Okay, so, which leads to my next question. Can we track it?
I see. You want to understand and perhaps triangulate, using its effects upon the weave. That would work, but not with a simple spell. You would need a device. I can make one for you. Actually, I think I may have already made one for you. I'll have to go search for it, though. Or perhaps I could start from scratch. Which one do you think would be better? Should I search for it or start from scratch?
How long will it take you to start from scratch?
Probably 2-3 months. 3 months.
I don't have time for that. No, search. Try to find it. If you already made it, and the faster we can get, the better. So I can start investigating.
I will ask Sir Richard Gearington where he put it.
Just
That will speed it up immensely. However, that means the entire time that he will be aiding me in looking for it, he won't be able to aid you in many of your endeavors.
That's fine. This is important. This will lead us to wherever the cube of all is, and where, well, a lot of money and all other important items and very dangerous items are. So this was kind of top priority. Hmm. So
Then I will have Sir Richard Gearington return to me at once. Was there anything else?
well, now
The
don't
Piston
mention.
City, yes?
Yes.
Fascinating, wasn't it? I was watching through my dragonflies. I couldn't believe it. I thought to myself, I don't even know if I could make that. Then I realized that that was silly. Of course I could make it, but it would be very difficult.
Hmm. Interesting. So do you
My
need
number one
guidance?
theory, time travel. It absolutely must have been necessary. There is no way that they made it without anybody being aware of it.
That's actually a theory I had. Because here's the thing. The engineer, I guess you saw for your dragonflies, they ran into. He also had a time travel in Griffin's Perch. The time machine. It was definitely made into a bomb. He definitely took some parts out, broke some parts out, make it a bomb. But he definitely had the time machine.
It turned a time machine into a bomb.
Yes.
Brilliant. Isn't that mad?
For the people
That
of
must have been
Griffin's
quite the
Perch.
explosion. I'm surprised
Well,
that you're even alive having witnessed such a thing.
I got dunked in the lake.
That would soften the explosion. Unlikely that that was an accident.
No, I was the one who set it down, made it fall. I could
Well,
disarm it in time.
impressive quick thinking.
Hmm.
So your theory is that this engineer is somehow using a time machine in order to be able to create their inventions and have them finished in the present? Possible. But it begs the question on why they haven't done that with all of their other inventions.
Yeah. It does make me question. Which is in. But as someone of our fields, in our certain fields, there's something thrilling of finish your project by yourself. Is it not?
So you think that they're just doing it for their own enjoyment? Perhaps. However, I don't see people finding bombs more enjoyable than time machines. That sounds like, well, a job. I hate jobs. In fact, engineers are just workers. I could never do that. No, anybody that calls themselves an engineer, they're a tool, not a creator. I don't see them giving themselves limitations like that on purpose just to stretch their creativity. No. If that's a limitation, there's another reason for it. What that reason is, who knows? Perhaps we'll find something else in the future that will illuminate us in this, but it is an interesting question.
Very. Definitely something to look into. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Whatever the case is, he is definitely a, as you say, a tool, but an important tool for whoever's using him. And if he knows about time machines and how to jury-rig it.
Of course, this is all assuming that the time machine element is something that they're in control of, and not a result of another element, something we're not seeing yet. It does seem like we're missing several pieces to this puzzle. Well, what are you waiting for? Get out there and find them! Why am I still in this call anyways?
He just kind
You
of
hear
looks
like
at
a
him.
couple of mumbles and stuff, and then they're still like talking, but they're talking to one of the robots. It sounds like they're very far away, so you can barely hear what they're saying. All right, and then they go, "Oh, blast it! This thing is still on, isn't it?" And turns it off, and the communication for your brooches ends.
Tell chuckles a little bit. Always interesting conversations. Not see eats a cookie that he's hidden away from everybody when everybody was gone. And that will be Zell for now.
Pulls it out from underneath the table.
Yeah, no, he hid it in his sleeve, in his long sleeve. He still has it. He just pulls it out and then eats it. Yeah, that's Zell.
um, Hanu, you wanted to talk to Arthur. When did you want to approach him? This is morning fishing. That's an opportunity always. That's our daily ritual. You could do that at any time.
Yeah, she probably is doing that. I'm gonna grab him one of the mornings, just like, it's been a while since we had a nice little chat.
A nice little chat. I'm trying to figure out which of those 3 words applies to any conversation we've ever had.
I know, right? But if we imagine hard enough, maybe it will one of these days.
What's going on, Hanu?
Alright, come on. And we're just gonna go to like a regular spot, and she's casting in, just share a drink. She's like, oh. Silence for a bit, and then casts the line out. Listen, if I know myself, I think I probably do. Never really opened up to anybody, I'm guessing, where you're from. Maybe a little bit, but probably shut down after a while. So I know I never told anybody this. been lying to everybody about one big thing. I know what happened at Bedalong. I know they were intercepting my letters. And I know my situation with my parents is different than I've at least expressed to Tron and a few other people. I have this weird thing of trying to put more pain onto myself because at least I know I can handle it to a certain point, but pain isn't fair. And the worst thing is if I was told that I shouldn't be communicating with the outside world, I would have accepted that. But it was kept a secret. And for all these years, until I found out, I believed in it. And I know we most likely kept a lot of secrets from you. But knowing how much that difference was... And it was actually the strangest thing. It was the post worker. After they retired, I just asked them right up front. And he mentioned that when I sent letters, somebody else would pick them up and take them to God's knows where. But things connected after that, and that's why I was driven to almost take drastic measures. But I snapped out of it. So I know this. I know that I would have given you hints. I wouldn't have left you back here in the past without telling you everything, just in a way you didn't realize it was being said. So I guess if you ever find something or think of something, I might be able to help glean what I guess my other self was trying to tell you.
He sits there, listening, fishing, silent, face, same expression the whole way through, kind of light scowl, nodding, and eventually he casts out another line as he pulled up something, and it was nothing. It was just a bit of like algae or clump of plant that he rooted up, and as he takes it off the line and casts the line back out, he says, I don't know if the things that I was told were necessarily riddles were very common. Questions, mysteries, but answers, not very much. And part of it, yeah, I did feel was used to keep me in the dark. But other things, I knew very, very clearly. When it mattered, it was always direct. However, the versions of you that I knew from that timeline, they aren't you. There are similarities, things I can see every once in a while, but the difference is they're too many to count.
the hunter that I knew. Spoke in riddles, yes, and metaphors sometimes. But it was also harsh and direct. And when it came to information, curt and very to the point. However, the things they had to say are different than the things you would say. I've heard it enough already. So what they told me, what they saw as the future, it's not that they didn't say anything. It's that they didn't say anything worth hearing.
Yeah.
You are still fighting for something. And if you get your hands on that key, on that cube of all, you can do what they couldn't.
So, either way, we use the same cipher. So if something very random comes up, who knows what we can glean from it.
I'll think on it. If anything comes to mind, I'll pass it on.
Yeah.
But we should focus on the present. In this timeline, and what we can do here. Because everything is already different.
Was I still miserable? Like over there? I don't know. I just want to know if I'm like
You
doing
were.
better or worse. Yeah.
Intense.
Oh.
Scary sometimes.
Oh. She's gonna like slowly high five herself. Fuck yeah. At least I succeeded in being scary. I've been trying so hard, but I can't. Is it like my expression? Does it look like I'm not following through, like with my intimidation?
I think that we should leave it to the one with tusks. Or, hey, maybe even that little ankle biter you guys brought in earlier. She was, kind of ferocious when I saw her and the, newcomer going at it. I'm not sure which of the two were scarier.
Alright, good to know. Well, I feel like, you know, the black dog might just threat. Like, she doesn't do threats, she just stabs you first and then threatens you last, but I'll observe.
It's a good thing, Rosemary stepped in between them.
I
But
know, yeah.
the downfall is, we'll never know how that fight would have ended.
And yeah, that is how that ended. By the way, you found out later on that Rosemary actually broke up the fight.
Beautiful.
How they broke up the fight, nobody says.
I laugh at the idea that all you hear is like the little tick of the staff or like a walking stick as she goes up the stairs.
No. Oh shit!
And that's what got the halt into the fight, and then she just says all like, "Okay, dearies." Anyway,
Time to go to sleep. Okay. But yeah, after that, Hanu
time
would
to go to
just-
sleep. Suddenly they both pass out.
Yeah, she's just gonna give Arthur like a gentle punch in the shoulder as we're continuing to fish. That'll be it.
It's a favor point towards Arthur. Journal. Notes. Don't need to track it there anymore, so I can just do goop. 1 out of 4. There we go. Anybody on Cal? Anybody got anything else to say to him after y'all did the catch up?
I mean, I think Summer might have something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll follow after you, probably on a separate day.
You can always find him at his club.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zarman has been doing the whole using the badge broadcasting whenever he's making chip,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it
Cal's
works.
always like the first one to show up.
Oh
So
yeah,
using
Cal's
that moment to
fast.
talk to him.
Oh yeah, yeah, that works. Perfect.
Okay, everybody,
He's
I've
in the
made
conscious
lunch.
of-
If you wanted to come by, I have Rosemary's for it. And then, by habit at this point, Zarman just turns around to see if Cal's there.
Boom, right there. A big smile on his face. Zar, I am so in love with your cooking. How do you keep doing this? It gets better every time. Grabs the plate.
A lot of practice.
No, practice is definitely making perfect. Perfection in my taste buds. Mmm. So,
Mind if
how are
I-
things?
I've just been more curious about things. You mind if I ask a personal question?
Yeah, shoot.
Scars always have a story. I was just wondering what yours is.
Oh, yeah. You ever, fought in one of those lightning birds in Urat?
Can't say that I have now.
What's your passive insight?
16. I do have expertise on reading emotions too.
Go ahead and roll that. Just the expertise.
17.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, his deception was shite. He has a total of 10
Oh.
on that roll.
Okay.
So you sense off of that both that he is lying and that that hit something really personal because you notice he like almost kind of like flexed the backs of his like shoulders and stuff as you mentioned it.
Well, I mean, if you don't already know, because I don't know what you know, want to hear about mine? Zarman unfurls the wings a little bit.
I have been curious.
Well, let's just say, as a hatchling, I didn't have the greatest start. I initially hatched on what appeared to be a slaver ship. They always, they did have Deacon there as watching over me, but the particular person who watched over me wasn't the kindest. He always got into drunken rages and took it out on me.
This is down in the Coterie Coast, like with the pirates, right?
Yeah. I did escape that situation, but that involved me getting separated from Deacon. And that's how I ended up washed up in the village with Zale and Rue.
Well, that was fortunate. I mean, you could have washed up almost anywhere, yet you washed up on that island of all islands.
Yeah. The beatings weren't always nice before then. It was always because you would always think that the beating was the worst bit, but sometimes it was the cleaning of the wounds that were worse.
Yeah, touches instinctively, his hand goes up and reaches over his eye, and then he pretends that he's pushing back the locks of his hair, and says, "Yeah, well, they make us stronger, right? If we live through them."
What doesn't kill? So whenever
Yeah,
you really want to talk about
well,
it, let me know. I'll let you. Uh, I'm always having an ear open for it.
Yeah, I'm always down to trade battle stories. I should tell you about this one time. Oh, wait a second. I just realized that I forgot something on the other side of town. And then he zooms out.
Right, and I imagine he already had like something holding the food Zarman already gave him.
Drops. It's left in the middle of the air and it's about to fall where he just was. Darwin catches the plate. Uh, and with that a favor point.
But yeah, no, Zarman already gave the clue that he already knew that he was talking bullshit.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Whenever you actually want to talk about it, let me know.
He's like, hey, yeah, you're sly there. But still not talking about it. Bye.
That sounds like an issue for future me. Right now, I'm gonna go across town to go cry.
uh, okay. Anybody else on Cal?
Yeah, I'll probably just meet up with him at his club.
All right. Yeah. It is exactly like the club Leviathan that had been in 1983. The decor, all of it, right? It is truly ahead of its time. Um, and he's got some bands playing that are along the musical genre that Wisteria is in, so a bit more of like this like heavy kind of punk, like industrial sound going on. All right. Its lead is a Minotaur. Um, and he is up on like the second balcony, like VIP section area with like a little roped off area. He sees you as soon as you've come in through it, and he waves at you while the bartender leans across the counter. It's this tiefling girl, and she says, "Boss says that you can go right on up." Shouting really loud over the music.
Just give her a nod and be like, thumbs up, and then just walk over there. Stop right in front of like the little like whatever those lines the dividing thing is like for some reason I feel like this is probably the most dangerous section in this club. She just slowly steps over it. Boop.
And as he's got this sort of like circle alcove for the couch and a big circular table on it. He's there by himself though. There's the one guard kind of standing on the outside of it. It's a really big section. He's just sitting there kind of like on his own. And he's got there you can see that there was a some folders and stuff. There's a map on the table of the entire city. And he had like what looked to be some folders that he has closed now that you've come over. He's got this big smile and he goes, "You want something to drink? Anything on the house."
Something sour.
All right. And he's uh snaps his fingers towards the guard. The guard just like gives like a nod, and no words are exchanged in this. And the guard walks off down the stairs to go get the drink. Now there's nobody watching the little section there, and you guys are both completely alone.
She's gonna look.
Take a seat.
She's like,
I am really putting that loan that you guys gave me to use. Seems to have been in perfect time too.
Yeah, honestly, that was pretty. Yeah, actually, now that you think about it, huh? Well, anyways, she's just.
I'll confess, I knew that it was going to happen. I had a guess that it was going to happen. History is a little fuzzy on this whole event, and so it was a bit of a gamble. That's why I was a bit pressed and desperate seeming when I was asking for the money. But I wasn't going to try and clue in on things when I didn't even know how this alternate timeline would work. But I figured out I don't think it really matters. We can kind of do whatever we want in this. We just make it up as we go, anyways, and everything just reacts to it.
Um, I think you're both correct and maybe misguided in that regards, but we are working with, I guess, a different set of waves, and eventually we're gonna get caught in like a big, like, you know, pipeline every so often. But if you know what you're doing, you manage to, surf through it. She's just staring at the map, being like, and I have no idea what this is about, so I'm not gonna ask.
I'm looking at expanding to other locations.
Oh, okay.
Business is doing really well.
Of course.
Insight check.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, okay. As I sense motives, I guess. I got it. Oh shit, no. Come back here. I'll do that. Insight, and I'm just gonna feed my bird just a little bit. Just. Oh, that's nice. That's good. That's good. 1d4 plus 1. 18.
Business is really good. He's looking to expand.
Yeah, I roll low. Okay, well, I usually don't like to push topics because usually, I usually get in trouble by doing that, like a lot of trouble. But I trust your judgment in this. Though I have to know, is there like a secret section in here that's like for underground fighting? I need to know.
You want to know?
Yeah, I kind of
I
took.
know if this is just a front for something else. If I haven't been completely upfront or honest with the group, and I have other ulterior motives, is that what you're asking me right now on it?
No, I was actually asking if, if I could host like underground fighting rings in here. That would be totally great because I don't want to do it in the back of the gym.
Oh, well, in that case, I definitely have ulterior motives, and this is just a front for something else. Follow me.
Okay.
And you see as he stands up, and the guard has approached back with the drink, and he takes the drink from him and hands it to you. And next to the little section where you walked into that, there was a little like curtain that looks like it was just like a fake decoration curtain around a grandfather clock that the guard had just been like standing in front of awkwardly, right? Rather than directly in front of the VIP section, right?
Yeah.
He was standing in front of this. And now you see why, as it was actually the secret message to enter into the underground section of this club.
Like,
As you walk lower and lower down through the tunnels, you can already hear it. The raucous sound of a bloodthirsty crowd, the shaking of cages. And as you come down into this section, you realize that there is an underground fight club here. And he goes, "So, what do you think?"
just gonna slowly raise her fist up for a fist bump.
Some of the benefits of being a time traveler.
Yeah, like the room that I had made in the gym was way too small. And it's probably just for like training and stuff. But like I was like, shit, I don't know how to do this. But I thought maybe you do. You're honestly the most worldly of the whole group, aside from.
Did you know
What?
that at the start of the Great War, as a reaction to the increased hostility and domestic terrorism going on in the country of Alvale, they banned the ability to have public forums for martial arts or fighting in the entire country. So lucky that I happened to have built this one before anybody commissioned it.
Damn.
Like I said, the benefits of being a time traveler.
That is some good foresight.
Right now,
Okay.
this club is the singular location for underground fighting in the city of Hearthvine. And I wasn't lying about wanting to expand, just not here in Hearthvine.
I don't.
More than one in a single city would draw too much attention. However, I'm hoping that with us traveling throughout the country, I might find other opportunities.
I was gonna ask that too because I'm like some people. I know. When I was, in the circuit, I did fight against a few people that just wanted to teach boxing and stuff, but they couldn't because it was bad before. But now you're telling me it's gonna get worse. Like, what the actual fuck? But what? Okay, whatever. Uh, so yeah, if there's just a way for people to just, I don't know. I'm just really passionate about, martial arts. So. And understanding what happened in the past during one of the civil wars, some of the temples actually was outlawed of training in martial arts for a bit because they didn't want to raise up a rebellion and all that other shit. So if it's done, at least it can evolve. So that's good. She's just watching the fight. Is this like the same place where she was fighting, or is that's like totally different?
It's no, totally different place.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole place built underneath this club because all the other fight clubs all got shut down.
Gotcha.
And now his is the singular one in the city of Hearthvine, which is why he's got so much business going on upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah, she's just leaning back, watching the fight. I honestly, you mean you don't have to discuss this if you don't want to, but I was actually curious about your teacher. I've actually heard his name before, and seems to be a kind of elusive figure. Well, did you trained in Omado, right?
I trained in a lot of places. When I was 7, I was left in the Frost Warrens for an entire month. The cold. That has got to be one of the worst kind of pains out there. Don't think I ever really got used to that one.
No, it's numbing, yeah. Frostbite. It's a bitch and a half.
Well, if you end up wanting to join any of the fights, let me know. I can make you skip through all of the dead weight at the bottom. I would not want any of them to have the misfortune of having to go toe to toe with you. But there might be some people here that are at least worth a workout.
Maybe, yeah.
His fight clubs act as training halls.
Nice.
Is what mechanically translates to.
And I think like as she's watching the fight, she'll just lean back and be like, "Did you ever train with anybody when you were underneath?" I totally forgot the teacher's name, but she would state his name.
I lost more fights than I won when I was in that stage of my training. In fact, I was told that losing is the most valuable lesson a warrior can learn. And I learned it a lot.
The one thing that I know is a master has failed more times than anybody in this room. A grandmaster even more so. It's just the type of failure changes. But if you learn something, then you win at the end of the day.
Well, let's hope that we've learned something. I mean, how many Arthurs does it take to figure out how to stop the apocalypse?
I think it usually starts like with a light bulb, if I remember correctly, but I think you'll figure that out.
Never change, Hanu. Never change.
Alright.
Here's a pat on the back. You guys watch fights for a little while, hang out.
Get my sour drink, and I'm enjoying it.
Yes.
She will make note. Training hall. Fuck yeah.
The next one on the list would be Fee. Anyone got anything for Fee?
Nobody in particular has anything. Yeah, I'm down into something.
No, Fee's been with you guys a lot over the last couple of days and events. She's pretty caught up and reacted to on things.
Yeah, I think one time Zarman would just help her with the flower delivery since she's been preoccupied.
Then Frederick.
Alright. Frederick. Well, probably, since we're back on Hearthfire and everything, I'll probably start walking to his place. Paying
At
him a
his
visit.
place, yeah, I think he's currently at Rosemary's purely because the gargoyle's been giving him issues again.
That's right. The gargoyles.
Yep.
Thank you.
He's staying with you guys.
Then I'll go to his room. And I give it a knock.
As you find up in Rosemarie's large attic where all of the furniture has been like stacked in like almost aisles that you guys cleared out to give like little like sections, almost like a little maze of teetering furniture. And in an alcove of it, Frederick has set up his little space with an abundance of books. You find him reading one such book by candlelight, because even though it's daytime, in this far corner of furniture, none of that light reaches here. He seems quite comfortable here, though.
Still approaches. But making very obvious he is approaching, so not to freak him out. As he says out loud, or in a casual voice, Frederick, do you have a minute?
Oh, yes, of course. How may I help you?
Dell would take one of the seats from the little aisles and place one kind of right next to like other side of him that's sitting on the other side looking at him. So I have a question and a concern. And it's about our fellow friend Cat. And he, at the moment, has possession of a very dangerous book. Some will say the Infernal Index, or more likely not the Demonicon. The very book itself.
The anger.
He stands up.
You're saying that the Index Infernum, the pinned by Igwilv.
Cat has it, yes.
Where did you find this? How?
It was when did we find this exactly?
You found it.
Griffin's Perch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I was right.
Yeah, it was in Griffin's Perch, but we knew it was stolen from the Marbesi family.
So it says Griffin's Perch. And when we were dealing with Vox, we found it. Looks like it was sold at the casinos there.
What was it doing there?
In a crate.
Just in a crate beneath a casino. I am sorry. I'm struggling here. what was it? Just stored away. For what reason?
I don't know.
And
I do
now
know.
we can't know because it's underneath.
The lake, yes. But I do know.
Were there other crates?
There was, from what Babette and Arthur has told me. There are a bunch of magical items and cursed items underneath that secret pouch. Some were personally delivered or were gifted by the Black Lily. The Fernal Index, in particular, was gifted to.
So, you're... So I see. So Griffin's Perch was just a front, or a fence perhaps. Some way for the Black Lily to get rid of their goods. That makes some pieces of the puzzle come together, but it is concerning that it is still in our possession. Because if the Black Lily was responsible for these recent thefts, why did they not take back something that was once theirs? They stole other items from your guild, no?
Yes, but they were not on our person. Cat has been keeping the book on his person the entire time.
So it has a limitation. That's a good piece of information. Yeah.
Stands up. He seems to be like hyperventilating.
And he has it on him now, with him in this present moment.
Yes, I think honestly he goes to sleep with it as well.
This let me see. This is dangerous. If they wanted to get it back and they didn't, then they might come looking for it. In particular, not as just one of many. It's a loose end. I don't think that there are very many loose ends for a thief like the Black Lily. No, I believe that we should take this from him. In fact, I should take a look at it right now. I should look at it, and make sure that it hasn't influenced him, because it could be cursed, as you said, like the others.
But he telling us at this point, like, Fedric, breathe.
I am breathing. Yes.
I brought you this information. I'll think at the moment right now is he's willing to part with it willingly if this thing has an effect on him.
You should convince them to part with it.
If it's cursing and compelling him, it's felt.
I have ways of observing things that are cursed. If I take it with me to my estate, I can use an altar there in my library to safely peruse it without being influenced by its magics, if it has any. You should speak to him, convince him.
I'll try. Gek is hard-headed, and if this thing is influencing for him to keep, well, then just keep 10 times more.
We have to take it from him. I mean, as a last resort, of course. If of course our suspicions are proven true, and it has got some influence that keeps him from wanting to part with it.
You see as he does like a couple of odd like multi blinks. Almost like every time he says it, right? Like he blinks a couple of times and then says it instead of saying the index or the demonomicon. He won't refer to it by its name. Every time he went to say it, he does like that weird double blink instead.
Zell takes mention of that because passive possession is ridiculous. As he kind of looks. No, you're right. It's both ways. It is definitely a loose end for the Black Lily that we haven't, and also it is highly dangerous if it is influencing him. Problem is trying to ask him if we can have it or get it from him. To be honest, I'd rather ask the others and clue it in on.
Of course, I will follow your judgment on it, but I suggest that we address this sooner rather than later. Time only allows curses to grow in strength.
Well, it'd probably be best to do it in the morning then. It's late.
Of course, at your discretion. Thank you for telling me of this. I have much to think about.
Well, you are one of our only experts in devils and fiends.
And more I find my expertise falling short of the mysteries that are before us. He sits down and he gets a bit of a distant look in his eyes for a bit, and you kind of get the feeling that he's now like deep in thought about things.
And Zell would then leave at that point. Just he will kind of walk out that point as he kind of looks to where like Cack is, and then he'll kind of just on the device he'll tap, and he'll just tap to Hanu. Hanu.
Yeah, what up?
What is the most likely case that Cack will let go of that book?
Maybe if you gave him a really, really big sandwich. Let me think about it. And she would do it. Yeah, I guess she can do it. Should I do an insight roll to see if the reason why Keck doesn't want to give it up is like because no one has really actually asked him to, or is like something's preventing him from?
Yeah, I mean nobody's asked him yet.
Yeah,
so
so
you
she's
have
just
no
gonna
way
be
of
like,
knowing.
well, have you asked?
Well, that's what I was about to do, but just in case that book is influencing him, as we are privy to cursed items.
I feel like his stomach is stronger than whatever curse can be placed upon him.
So I should breed a really, really good.
Really big one. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Alright.
Yeah.
I think Starmus says like one. No, I gotta get the rosemary sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, double decker. Yeah.
No, it won't. Wish me luck. If you hear explosions or anything, it went bad.
No, you want me to come along? Cause I mean, like, I was planning on eventually like dropping this motorbike off to
Probably.
the Artificer clubhouse.
If it's cursed and that book reacts, it would be nice to have a cleric around.
Okay, I thought you were talking about if the bike is cursed, but yeah, sure, yeah, I got it. I actually have a spell that I can remove curses. It's not gonna remove it, but it's at least gonna suppress it.
Might need it.
Okay.
Well, we'll do this in the morning.
No, okay, yeah, sure.
There's no way he goes in the morning, so bring a big sandwich and
Mm-hmm.
ask him for it.
Yeah.
Alright. Good night.
All right.
Turns off communication.
Okay. And next up on the list would be Grayson.
Zarma's got something.
Okay.
I will say the way that you probably find him is like kind of just staring at him in like an intimidation standoff, and then realizes she's still a novice and just walks away, going, my technique. I need to work on it more. Oh, hey, Zarman. Starts storming away.
Oh god, I would love to see a Nina and Grayson intimidate off.
Yeah.
I mean, now that you're here, you want to interact with Grayson with Zarman?
Yeah.
I will be honest, I don't know enough about Grayson to know.
Oh,
Nobody
no,
does.
no, no.
We're about to be finding out right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm down for Nina to be here.
Mm-hmm. Alright, hey, Nina.
Zarman and Nina approach Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
Probably with Hanu if she's still there, but you
Oh.
said she was storming off.
Well, yeah, she was more or less like, I got all I needed. I need to go into a mirror right now. Face a mirror. She's just going to the bathroom, just staring at herself, trying to figure out Grayson's technique from what she had.
Grayson would, after having a stare off, sit down in like the rocking chair next to Rosemary's rocking chair, alright? And that tends to be where he is. Him and Rosemary have like old people conversations in their rocking chairs.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
And so there he is in his rocking chair, just, rocking away, enjoying the sound of the birds and stuff. As you approach, and he's just, he says, "Dragon eggs. Do they look like rocks, or do they look like scales?"
Yes.
Looks
Zarman being there at the fucking party. What did it look like?
looked like a rock.
Kind of looked like a rock to me, but then again, I didn't look too hard.
Exactly. In fact, if you find scaled eggs, many will think they're dragon eggs, but in fact, they will be wyvern eggs. Keep that in mind in the future. It might be useful. Anyways, what can I do for you?
I know you weren't actively taking on students right now, but I was wondering if you had any pointers that would help us find, help me improve my form menu in any sort of way.
Well, I have to see it a little more. In the heat of battle, I can only observe so much. You two, fight.
Thought we
And
looked
you
for
guys
Nina.
can
Oh,
fall.
shit.
Nina immediately decks Zarman.
Go for it.
You have to be a quick.
Like, there is no hesitation. I don't know if Zarman would be taken by surprise by it.
I mean, I think he already knows how impulsive you are.
Yeah.
It's just more of a look over to see how you're doing, and then that's when he sees the fist coming. So, but.
I'm just gonna roll the Great Axe, but ignore the damage.
Yeah.
Plus he was training with Arthur in cooking. He's expected
that
that.
was.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that Nina slips on some carpet and just wipes out.
Yes.
A plus for the effort, but sloppy on the execution.
Well, if we seriously want to try this, we can actually use sparring weapons over there. Just like pointing out into a more open area. like across the river from Mosery's house,
Where there will be no property damage.
preferably. But yeah, no, and then Zerman and Nina would probably end up doing a sparring match across the river for him to get more better vision of the form.
Well, I can tell which of you two had formal training, and which of you is pure instinct alone. Instinct will get you far. It'll get you further than most. And training, it can turn into something that becomes a box. If you learn to see the strengths in each other, you should cover those weaknesses. My advice would be to continue focusing on what you're strong at. When facing against enemies more powerful than kindred, beasts, monsters, devils, fiends, these things don't fight off of our metric. You have to commit, understand what you're good at, and rely upon coordination and teamwork to shore up the rest. That's what we've got going that the rest of them don't. We can work together.
He's saying this as you guys are like sparring and fighting with each other.
Yep. Which, specifically for the sparring match, Zerman wouldn't be using magic just for the sake of it.
Yeah. Nina would be full rage and, like, going at it.
Yeah,
Yep,
Zerman
yep.
would be using the parrying property of the greatsword to try to deflect some shit every once in a while.
One of these days we'll like roll
We'll
up
do it.
and see
Yeah.
what this fight actually ended up as.
Hell yeah.
But he points out the individual strengths and the way you both kind of go about things, one with discipline, one with instinct. All right. And it's focusing on your strengths and not worrying about the idea that you're lacking in other things will help you overall as a group be stronger. And that's his takeaway tip of advice by the end of it all. But that you guys are clearly heavy hitters, and he ends it with a note of the Order of Asmodeus won't know what hit him.
Hopefully. How are you still doing after the wound you had taken?
Oh, perfectly healed up. Pats his side. But Zarman, hope
Zerman's at full attention.
has nothing to do with it. Hope is not something that's going to get you through things. Hope is what gives all of the other people reasons to stick it out long enough for those of us that know to do something about it. We are not going to win if we hope that we're going to do it. We will only win when we know that we are going to do it. Until then, we are not ready. However, there are plenty of opportunities for us to prepare ourselves. So my advice would be, the Order of Asmodeus may not be strong enough for us yet. But until we are all certain, we should stay our hand.
Yeah, sorry, God.
So I heard Nina saying something there.
Oh,
for a moment.
yeah. Nina would have, at some point in that, said, hope is kind of useless anyway. Nothing matters, so you may as well have good time.
You two make quite the pair. yin and yang.
Still working on the confidence bit. But when push comes to shove, I know what I want to do.
Good.
And Nina just gives him like one of those big, hearty, like, typical barbarian slaps on the back.
Yep. He gives you another one right in return. They both
And in
hit each
between
other
the both
with
of
a
the, and in
force.
between both of the barbarians' armors probably about to eat shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Double barbarian backpack.
Yeah. Yes, that's fucking perfect.
16 isn't terrible. Zarman was ready for it this time. Oh god, oh god, oh god.
I do at some point want Nina and Grayson to have a Hanu style intimidation off.
She was just like standing in front of him scowling. So there's
Yeah.
just like for like who knows how long his walks off.
Nina sees Hanu doing it, just joins in.
I hate Nina.
Passive 19 intimidation, let's go!
Yeah, she's alright. I dig it.
Yeah, and a lot of his things are just off intimidation too, so. Zarman will take the lesson to heart. And then he'll go along his way when Nina starts doing her fucking intimidate off now.
This
yeah.
music makes me really think of this like Printer Troy up at one point.
Alright, I'm just like,
Yeah, you saw the Fedric thing playing over Grayson. So.
Well, it's the Pridwin theme. I call it.
Yeah,
it's
it's
when
the
we first
Pridwin
met
theme.
Pridwin.
He rolled a 25 on his intimidation.
oh.
Okay, let's see.
Let's go see.
No, this wouldn't be ferocity.
No!
She got 20 and almost rolled max on the expertise die too.
Not much scares me, but that.
Neither just scary. All of it get big bad guys. Accidentally.
Well, this one was very much on purpose. Same thing with the last one.
That was like a Babette level deception check.
At nat 20, you know?
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Alright. Next one up is Gwyn. But let's just take like a couple minute break here before getting into the Gwyn combo.
Yeah.
That one's
I apologize in advance, Kak.
He's dealing with work right now.
Gotcha. But yeah.
fucking
like,
yeah.
It's like, wait, I don't know, has anybody ever asked
Frederick.
him?
That's why I was like, oh, Frederick's reaction to hearing about the Rednecks and Friends.
Man, I'm excited to watch Frederick become a lich. Like,
There's a handful of terms out there that get that Twitch reaction, and that was one of the ones.
We have found two so far. Fucking Zemanov and fucking Index Infernum.
Yep. You're like, okay.
Is it good that we're showing it to him?
yeah, I know. I was just like, don't.
He's your expert on curses. He has an entire library dedicated to analyzing them safely.
And a whole ass brain just full of them.
I can't wait for
And
that.
a whole ass brain just full of them.
I mean, again, it's the logical thing to think about Rizzo.
He's also the wizard. He's also a wizard, you know. So like, of the ones able to attune to it, Cat can't even use it. You know, not to its full capacity. he can use many aspects of it that are still useful, but it gains its fullest use out of a wizard because it has all these spells involved in it that aren't there otherwise, and it can act as a spell book.
Evil
It's like
Frederick.
it's like his 30th
Give Frederick the
birthday.
Demonomicon, guys. Give him the Demonomicon. It will fulfill his whole aesthetic.
Dear God.
I just went away from cats.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
what
like,
to do
God
with
damn it.
that.
Oh no. Ace.
What?
It's all yes, let's do it in that chat, Los Diablos chat.
Yeah.
God. Zell's thought honestly on that face is fucking lock it up so
Do it, Anakin.
Cal, with his like fake. I'm so insulted. Or slash, I'm super excited to show you this thing that I built specifically for you in mind. All right.
it was like, mom, look at this anime. Like, don't let me too proud of it, but look.
Yeah.
I brought you down into it. You see the whole like the club going on, and he's like, just like, so what do you think?
Anu finally has another chance to get trapped between Maya's thighs.
There you go. Just like a fist bump, just wordless fist bump. Oh fuck yeah, I like it.
We just gotta get the engineer down there.
Yeah, and Cal's map was totally part of his whole vigilante escapade he's got going on in the city.
Okay.
I mean, he's already admitted to the fact that he was like sneaking across into like dangerous gang territory and stuff.
So it's like, okay. No,
I know, but when you said he was sitting alone in this VIP section, I was like just pulling up to my house, and I was like, I have to make a meme. I gotta get to my room.
He fucking immediately puts it on that one fucking Asari in Mass Effect 2. Fucking
I'm so glad that you showed up for that because
yeah,
it was my Mass Effect reference. You're the one who plays Mass Effect like the most in the group. So I was like, and you make the memes, so it all happened just like perfect timing. Yes,
fucking
the
this
stars
for Mass
aligned.
Effect 2. Like Jesus fuck.
I'm actually planning on with my roommate once we're all settled in playing through Mass Effect with her so that she knows all of my references.
Nothing says that your club is a front like having a popping ass club and sitting alone in your VIP section with your
Right.
I own this station.
God damn it.
God, he's eventually
I am Leviathan. Leviathan is me.
Yes. He's gonna have some really strong fucking Nina. Oh my god, Nina is gonna become the Krogan. The patriarch.
Yeah.
Cal is gonna beat her in single combat and she'll become the patriarch.
Oh my god. Why is that so accurate?
She's big enough to be a Krogan and, like, you know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, 100%. She's got the Krogan mentality.
Oh, true.
Oh, man.
She's an honorary Krogan. One of the times when she was, in another plane because she fell through a portal, she ended up in Krogan territory and earned their respect, and then ended up back where she was, as she is wont to do, just falling into other planes of existence and beating things up and earning everybody's fear and admiration, and then going to another place. Nina is like a cosmic force at this point.
Yeah. She will jump wherever she needs to.
She's
Whenever
just like, yeah, man, just thinking about the like a level 10 Nina who's able to do these feats of like super fucking kindred like fucking power, just leaping over buildings, intimidating people, but just like stomps of their foot and just shaking everybody to their core, and then just having that just like, but like it's not from here. Like they just like it just got dropped on your planet, all right? And you're like, deal with this. Nina is Superman.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Honestly, Nina went through her rite of passage and just 1v1'd the fucking worm.
Yeah, the Krogan thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that thing.
She wrote it.
Oh man. Okay.
Thresher Maw, that's what they're called.
Yep.
Just jumped into its mouth and fucking God of War'd her way out.
Fuck yeah.
Nina really can't remember anything from a few years ago because she's like this demigod entity that the only way they've ever been able to like deal with it is to like swipe its memory and drop it off somewhere else so it doesn't come back.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
They're just like,
Hell yeah.
she's like a Tarask essentially.
Considering with
Oh,
orcs
What
and
I'm
shit.
about to do.
Yeah.
But the way the rage HP regenerates and shit, right? Like you pretty much are just like this. I mean, you're gonna be able to like wrestle those things eventually. Like so.
Yeah, that's what
Like-
happens when we're in Urut and there's a Trask. We just send Nina after it, and it's just chasing us down. Trask starts running. Oh shit! Oh no!
Here's the
I'm-
issue. Nina befriends the Tarask, and now she's got a pet Tarask.
Beautiful.
Just weird enough to befriend the Tarask. They both start just hopping to different places and like fucking shit up, you know? Just cause, you know, it's in their nature.
Yeah.
Oh, I found a good picture for this.
Nina and her pet Tarask.
Everybody's getting dragons. She just shows up with a Tarask.
Yeah, I don't know why, but Pridwin's theme is playing right now. At least in Foundry.
He started playing it when he had a Fedric dog.
But it's
Yeah.
still playing.
Yeah.
Close that.
Patrick at the Demonomicon. Jeez.
She's gonna ask more questions afterwards, but she's just curious. Has anybody like asked Kak if he can like hand
No.
it away? It's like, okay.
Someone's just kept beating him shit.
Gwen is doing her morning routine.
Zarma would probably be walking out there with whatever the morning thing, because we wake up real early to do the trading.
Mhm.
You know, so probably got like a lemonade or something.
Okay.
Ready for a break over there?
She stops and backs to you, says, "Dragons have returned. What are we doing about it? I assume you all have ideas. You were discussing things all night."
Yeah, and that was one of the many. Ultimately, they wanted to find out what was your thoughts on it.
My thoughts. Do you mean Ava's?
Well, we can't really ask her entirely, but we can ask you first.
No, you're right. I've thought about it. I don't know why, but something tells me we're supposed to help them, not hunt them.
Yeah. I grew up with a kobold in my initial hatchling years, so I was always somewhat curious about dragons themselves.
What is a kobold?
Zarman will try his best to try to describe what a kobold is to her.
I see. That's new. I suppose that even after they were gone, it was hard to leave or scrub every mark they left on the world.
Yeah, and
Seems like
they
when you
had a
become
strong
powerful
belief.
enough,
Yeah.
seems that even when you become powerful enough, that after you're gone, it leaves something behind greater than yourself. Do you believe that?
Well, Sorry, I was distracted by all the shipping posts in Discord. Can you repeat that?
When it seems that when you're powerful enough, that when you're gone, you leave something behind that never quite leaves. Do you believe in that?
I like to think so.
Sometimes I feel like Ava is out there somewhere waiting for me. I have the strangest dreams sometimes, though I can't remember them when I awake. But last night I dreamt. And I saw trails of fire, like the ones from the other night. But they weren't fire. They were brilliant colors, like in a rainbow. And they played music as they soared overhead. I awoke thinking that we were supposed to find them and help them, not hunt them. Though I don't know why. And it's only a dream. I think that it is the right thing to do.
Yeah, many others that night were curious about the possibility of what we'd do to even try to begin to help them. The first suggestion was this Abbey property that Victor had left over, and we make some adjustments to be able to try to see if make particular habitats for them. It was going to take a lot of investment, though.
I had faith that if you came to a decision, it would be a noble one, and I was right. I'm glad that I have allied myself with you and your companions. Zarman, together, let's make sure that the dragons have a better future than the one that Ava was able to give them.
Agreed.
Anything else?
Zorn would probably set down the lemonade. Well, I think training would be better with a partner.
Very well. She'd finish out her training with you and afterwards meditate.
I think towards the end of the training, Henry would come out of the river in flippers and just awkwardly start walking up. Like, guys, how can you guys do this? It's so fucking cold. Why? Doing her morning swim like she usually does.
Lady Stormconch,
Yeah.
how is your...
Feels actually not that bad, but still, god damn, it's so cold.
Were you searching for something in the river?
No, just swimming, but also I picked up some trash. So, New Year's, people are throwing things in there.
I thought perhaps you had found another magic fish. We could probably use one right now, but we should be happy with the blessings we've already attained.
Yeah. I mean, aren't all fish magical, though, if you really think about it?
You have a wonderful outlook on life.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you guys need help watering these plants? I got a lot of water left over.
She would nod her head and join you after the training with the watering of the garden, and
You see, like, Rosemary slowly closing the blinds just to make sure we're doing our jobs.
yeah. Yep. Anybody else have anything with Gwen?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
I feel like I really want Nina to interact with Gwen, but I have no reason why Nina would.
So anything...
You know what I mean?
We're in the backyard, and she's almost always training because she's been restless to get out and do things, but the group keeps telling her she's got to keep herself low. The Order of Asmodeus might be looking and have too much interest in the idea of Gwen or Ava, but she's yeah. So she's always there.
God damn it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, if that's the case, then I could imagine Nina just, like, why do you never leave?
I have been told that it is dangerous for me to go too far, and sometimes I forget things.
Oh, is that what
I've
happened?
lost my memories and don't remember who I am. Others have great expectations based off of who they think I once was, but I don't know. And so I stay.
Well, you lost me at the great expectations, but I do know a little thing about not knowing anything.
Yeah, she's like 1 year old.
That is how it feels often at times. Less than a year old, I suppose. I only recently feel like I've awoken from a very long dream. I feel the first time I really noticed things was when we arrived here in Arvale. Ever since then, it's been a lot easier to stay focused. Anu, your advice has helped me a lot. But I still do not remember who I was or...
I mean, like...
That is perfect time to become new person.
Yeah, I mean...
I am who I am. I am not concerned with what other people believed I once was. That is for them to sort out, not me. I am concerned with figuring out what I am supposed to be doing now.
If I did all of these great things before, why am I still here? What other things have I yet done? I believe that with traveling with you, I will find the answers to these questions.
But what will you do if there is no answer?
The answers are what I find along the way.
I think you have to have faith that there is going to be an answer. No matter what it ends up becoming, it's always going to be the end result.
Nina
There is a
looks.
reason we go through these trials.
Nina looks highly confused by this.
How about this? You ever climb up like a really tall mountain?
Many, many times.
Okay. And you got back down and you helped others up there, right?
Yes, that was my job.
Well, you didn't have to take the job, right? But you still did.
Nina just looks like loading. She's buffering.
It's like you're there to help guide people to places where they would otherwise never be able to find themselves.
I would argue that I chose to do this, and there was no point to it. It just was a thing to do.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're getting paid, then that's like one thing. But you could always stop. You can always walk away.
I mean, I did.
So you're saying if I ever wanted to climb a mountain, you would leave me at the base of it? Wow.
I mean, if we were at mountain, maybe instinct would kick in, but
I rest my case. I'm only worth instinct to you, I guess. She's just watering some plants, but she's also like looking at Gwen, being like, I'm about to show you, both of you guys, a very ancient maneuver of the Stormconch family, okay? I need you to promise not to like immediately throw me over your shoulder, okay, Gwen? I don't think my back can handle that right now. And she's just like standing in front of Gwen, like feet apart, shoulder width, and just like, okay, so yeah, just relax,
I trust you.
alright, okay, alright. And then she's gonna slowly go through the motions of a Stormconch hug and just hug her. Just,
Oh. She relaxes after a moment, smiles.
Nina gets very excited and grabs them both and bear hugs them.
yeah!
I think that's a good cutaway moment.
Mm-hmm.
As a result of all that, you guys have gotten 3 out of 4 favor points with Gwen.
Woo. Now I know Nina would leave me at the base of a mountain. Wow,
Nina does what Nina wants in the moment. Who knows if she's gonna forget it later, so...
The state of pure existence.
Yeah. Living in the moment is not just like an idea, it is a lifestyle.
The goldfish lifestyle.
Yeah, goldfish for lack of memory, and then Honey's there. Fish?
Yeah, I'm really good with fish. Sometimes
I think
the answer...
Cat would be really good with Kelly, but I think Ace is still dealing with work.
I think that we've gotten halfway through the group, and we will get the other half during next session, and this is where we will call it for the night.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Go.
Like at the end of that hug session, she'd be like, sometimes the hug is the answer, guys.
Rachel,
Yeah.
the group was given 5,000 gold as part of a deal that Prince worked out with the bank house Krova. Since their bank line was hit the hardest by the Black Lily, all their banks were targeted. They're very curious to figure out who did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, Prince worked out a deal with them saying that you guys, being the do-gooders that you are, gonna figure it out, all right? And if they give you a loan, you'll be able to do it, quicker. And so Bank House Krova sent checks for 5,000 gold to each member of the Stars and Seas Society. And your 5,000 gold for each of you is not really a loan that you have to pay back, more as they want to have the guarantee that you're actually going to be looking into the Black Lily.
Yeah.
And their person to make sure that that you're gonna do that, they sent somebody, all right, which is now one of your new companions, a cleric, a healer, who's there to protect the investment. You guys can't die until you figure out who the Black Lily was. So they sent somebody to protect their investment. She is a dark elf, and a vampire that knows Constantine.
Oh, great! Another vampire therapist.
This one is a more hedonist than therapist, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, 100%. Their whole thing is that their healing is just a type of blood magic that they do, where whenever they have a special power where they can form a blood pact with a number of creatures equal to their proficiency, and it lets them be able to, anytime those people take damage, it fills up this meter of vitae or blood essence that as they get higher tiers of it, the damage that's being done to those they've made a pact with invigorates them. All right. They could also force this pact on other people by forcing a charisma saving throw on people. All right. And the benefits of being the pact is that if she wants to, she can choose to make all members of her blood pact take advantage of these abilities she uses her blood essence on. All right. Such as the first two have to do with healing, all right? So she can actually use the blood essence to heal herself and anybody in the blood pact if she wants to. But she could also use it to gain, at the third tier, turned her and the people in the blood pact into mist so that they can fly like the cloud flying spell, all right? Yeah, Windwalk, there we go. And then the fourth tier of it is it gives everybody in the blood pact vampiric regeneration for a period of time. And that's in addition to the fact that she's just a cleric healer. So she has a bunch of healing spells, and those are all flavored as like her, like, manipulating the blood to actually heal you and stuff. So yeah, that's the thing. The more damage you take, the more it invigorates them. They could just bite you and like be like taking the blood the old-fashioned way, but they're a cleric, so they took a vow of mercy, right? Which means that they're attempting to fight against their drow/vampire evil nature, and instead using their vampiric powers to heal people. So yeah. And this is so this is your I have the thing for them. You can pop her up. She came in with a whole retinue of people carrying her luggage, which was enough luggage to put to be like competitive against Valerie. All right, like it required 4 attendants to carry it all in. All right. Finally got the opportunity to use this amazing art with a little bit of touch up, big old wide brimmed hat that can help you hide from the sunlight. But
One
yep,
sec, my-
that's the newest addition to the party, and another one. Like, 'cause we'll be going further down the list, so we'll get to the ends eventually, and they'll be able to be interacted with a little bit more because they kind of just showed up, said the paperwork should have already arrived, and it had, and then they were like, "We're good, right?" And then they gave a little explanation of like what they were going to be doing, right, which is protecting, that investment. And at the same time, hinted at the fact that they have ties to Brave Albion through Constantine, all right? So they're kind of like a liaison of sorts, or a plant by Brave Albion, because Brave Albion's a spy organization. They're just one for good, all right? And so here's
Send somebody else until figuring out you had a tie to Constantine.
Yeah. My stupid foundry has decided to not show anything. Would you be able to send it to me in Discord?